Ladies and gentlemen, voted Long Island's best podcast by a bot farm in Russia, it's the Adult Baby Show.
I'm a sweet boy.
I'll let a girl suck any part of me. I mean, honestly.
It's just in my mouth, just.
Oh, like, I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Except getting to work on time.
You just ruined my day. Fuck your day.
Oh, let's get the feet involved.
It's not a nut. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud with you.
Some people
Yeah.
are absolutely
Uh-huh.
disgusted by me.
He ain't lying.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 343. I am B. And I'm here alone. I'm the only one left, guys. That's it. We all knew this day would happen. We all knew that they would leave this sinking ship, and I'd be the only one left. 343 episodes. I've made it through every single one of them. And here I am recording alone in my apartment. This is where we're at. Look, it's getting harder to record this podcast. That's what's going on. All right. When we started this podcast, we started with T-Briz, and we would do it Sunday mornings. And we were energized. And then I think we started doing 2 a day, and that became difficult. Look, here's the thing. Me and Chick are not what you would call go-getters, all right? We're minimum effort podcasting. That's what we're into. So we liked the Sunday mornings. It was close to us. We would bang it out. And that lasted, 20 episodes before T-Briz quit live on the air? Then we got Chris. We got Chris as our second producer in. And I think we had a studio in Port Washington. We would drive to Port Washington. It was a beautiful studio. We would record there. And I forget what happened. I think the studio eventually flooded, or they stopped paying rent. I don't know what happened. But from there, we moved on to, at the time, we were recorded in my parents' basement and into the apartment I'm in now. We did some at Chick's house. It was pretty local. We were right here, and the podcast would they were going all right. And then Chris moved to another country. That's what me and Chick do to people. That's what we do to producers. One of our producers quit mid-show. The other one fled the country. That's the effect that we have on people. I'm not going to put it all on Chick because it's me too. It's me too. Then we got Ryan. The reason we go out to Ryan's is because he has a beautiful studio with video, and we could put the show on YouTube. We could make clips. Here's the problem. Nobody's watching the YouTube video. So what are we doing? So me and Chick are driving an hour out there. We have beautiful video, but nobody seems to watch it. And I get it. I don't either. When I listen to podcasts all day, I very rarely do the video. Sometimes if I'm sitting home, I'll throw on YouTube and watch a podcast. Certainly not my podcast, but a podcast on video. Mostly I do it while I'm driving at work. And I think a lot of people do the same thing. So we're getting to the point where it's like, to record the podcast is like a 3-hour ordeal, where it used to be hour and a half tops, okay? We don't want to waste 3 hours for something that nobody's watching. The numbers are going down, and I think that's because maybe we're just not, maybe the effort isn't there. We're not putting what we used to into it. And I don't know what to do. I don't want to end the podcast. I certainly don't. I enjoy doing it. So we got to figure out what to do next, you know? Do we go back to where it's just me and Chick, and we have terrible quality and maybe no video? And maybe it's easier for us to get together. Doesn't take as much time. Or do we figure out, what do you guys suggest? What do you guys suggest? This is me being on the podcast solo is not a goodbye, okay? We're not ending the podcast, or at least I don't plan on it. I'd like to keep it going any way I can. I like getting on here and talking about my week. Even if I just come on and when we can't get together, I'd come on. I don't know who would listen to it, but I'll just do a little recap of what went on in my week, a little B-cap, if you will. I can't imagine anybody would want that, but listen, we've been doing this for a long time, and it doesn't seem right to just give it up. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe it has reached that time. I don't know. If you guys have suggestions, ideas, let us know, okay? For now, this is where we're at. I had my first old man moment. As you know, I live on a main street here, and every summer they do this thing called Music on Main, where they shut down the street and they have DJs and musicians, and they play all throughout the street. It starts at 5 o'clock. It's like every other Thursday or something. And honestly, it's nice to have. It's nice to live here in with all the restaurants and the bars and everything right here. I don't have to drive too often if I want to go out. But this is a disaster for me. This when they shut the road down. I'll go out and I'll enjoy it, but I get home from work. I just want to relax, and the music starts pumping at 4:30. And literally, there's 2 DJs in front of my apartment. No, 3 DJs. One directly in front, one to the left, and one across the street, all competing with each other. Okay, I don't like this dance music as it is, this DJ music. So you can imagine the nightmare coming out of my windows. I mean, I have things falling down off the cupboards. Is it cupboards? I don't know. A bowl fell down yesterday because of the vibrations of these DJs. So I noticed that there's a Chinese restaurant behind me. This year they want to get in on the action. They're off the main strip. All right, they're basically in a parking lot right behind me, right behind the apartment. This year they set up a tiki bar, and they have a DJ. So now I got DJs from both ends, just hitting me from both ends, right? I go out, I meet my parents, because you can't stay home. You have to go out. I'm forced to go out and have a drink on the street, all right? That's what. So I go out, and I'm back early. I got work the next day. 9 o'clock. Most of the DJs start wrapping up by 9:30 out on Main Street. I think it's around that time. But the music's done. It's wrapping up. I'm sitting in my in this couch. I'm trying to watch some awful Netflix show, Project X. I think one of these documentaries that Netflix just keeps putting out documentaries of something that happened in the 2000s. Some like news story that lasted for 2 days. Netflix is making a 45-minute documentary about it. Bubble Boy will be next week, right? Which I'm gonna watch. So anyway, it's about 10:30. I just want to like wind down and relax. And there is this DJ behind at the Chinese restaurant still pumping music. He's just going, just going hard. And part of me wants to go out. I want to go downstairs and like let him know, like, people live here. I don't think they realize that. Because there's so many restaurants around, I don't think they realize that people live above these places. And I'm not complaining. I love living here, okay? I understand it comes with the territory. So, I chose to live here. I get it. But this is 10:30. Everybody else is clearly wrapped up. There's a noise ordinance, right? Where you have to shut down at a certain time. It's literally right outside my window. So I don't want to go downstairs and confront the guy face to face. Okay, I don't need that. So I decide what I'm doing is I get outside. If I climb out of my kitchen window, there's a rooftop right there. Now, mind you, I'm in my underwear and nothing else. Okay, because it's hot as hell in my apartment. I only have my AC in my bedroom. I don't have it in the living area, in the living room here in the kitchen. I just have a fan, which is fine. It's okay. Like I have the fan right above me. I deal with it, but I am half naked. So I climb out of this window nothing but my underwear, just to get a glimpse at what's going on. Are there people downstairs? Are they still? Because I can't imagine people are dancing in a parking lot at a Chinese restaurant. I can't imagine that that's something that people are doing on a Thursday night at 11 o'clock, 10:30. So I go, I peek over the edge. There's a DJ playing to absolutely nobody. Nobody. So at this point, like I have to say, he's got his headphone. He's doing the DJ move where he's got one headphone on. Like he's doing the whole thing. He's playing for nobody. And listen, I've been that guy. I've been a comedian that have been asked to perform. You get hired, you do the job, right? So I get it. So I'm screaming. I'm more or less screaming at the employer, to wrap it up. So I scream down to the DJ, wrap it up. I'm waving my hand in my underwear, by the way. Wrap it up. People live up here. I'm screaming to nobody because the DJ can't hear me. Lo and behold, then I crawl back in my window. I'm like, oh God, it just felt like an old man just screaming on a rooftop in my underpants. You know, that's a real old man move. And I came back in, and lo and behold, they stopped the music 15 minutes away later. I don't know if I did that, but I'd like to think I had a hand in it. Fourth of July was last week. 4th of July, my favorite holiday. I love 4th of July. It's the one holiday I try to get off every 4th of July. I'm always on call, but I always try to get off. I'm on call the day after 4th of July, which makes it kind of difficult because every 4th of July I go out with my family to Fire Island, and there's this tradition in Fire Island where the kids, I was about to say children, I don't talk like that, where the kids, they line up the morning of 4th of July, and there's a parade through town, all right? And everybody comes out, and I know I've talked about this before. You get in your wagon, and every family sort of dresses up as their own theme. There's everything, you know. Jaws. There's a Jaws cart where, you know, a shark is eating a kid or something like that. I saw Rachel's Bakery out there. That was a good one. That's a bakery in Ocean Beach. They had cookies. Everybody, just a different theme, and it's fun to watch the kids all dress up, the adults get involved. It's a lot of fun. So we line up, and this year the theme we did was Sandlot, the classic 90s movie, 4th of July classic movie, The Sandlot. My brother-in-law and sister did a fantastic job. We have the cart that you pull. They put like AstroTurf on it and a big Sandlot sign. And of course, who does Uncle B play? The woman. Wendy Peppercorn. Is it Peppercorn or Peppercorn? The bodacious blonde. Is it bodacious? No, that's not the right word. Bodacious. What is the word? This is why you need two other people. Ryan would know the word I'm looking for. Chick wouldn't know the word, but he'd call me an idiot and laugh at me. Bodacious. What is it? Voluptuous. I played a voluptuous blonde. What is bodacious then? Anyway, I played the voluptuous lifeguard, the love interest of the little boy, I guess. And I wore my sister's red bathing suit, and I had the wig. I'm strutting myself out there, and people loved it. It was a big hit. Chick does not like this stuff. Chick does not. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Chick does not like when I dress up. He finds it. I don't know if it offends him in some way, but I went to that wedding a few weeks ago, and I dressed up as an ice cream sundae, and I handed out ice cream. I don't know, that people ask me to dress up, and I'm happy to do it. All right, I like to do it. It's fun. It's fun. So, of course, Chick, was busting my balls about that. But anything for my nieces. If he had, see, here's the thing. If Chick had two little nieces, and they wanted him to dress as a woman, he would do it. Don't let him lie to you. So we do the parade, and it's so much fun. Right after the parade, they do this. We go down to the ball field, and they have hot dogs and watermelon, and they got the sprinklers going. The fire department comes out there. You just bring lawn chairs, and it's like the perfect setting for a 4th of July afternoon, right? You do the parade. You're up early doing that, and I don't know what it is about these hot dogs. I wait for these hot dogs every year. You know when something is, it's not good, but it's the setting just makes it taste better. That's what these hot dogs are. They're like just regular dirty water dogs, but they just throw 100 in there. They're just keep giving them away. It's one of those things where you give cash and you get a bunch of tickets. You pay in tickets to the fire department. So like $1 for a hot dog, $1 for a beer. And they're cold hot dogs. They're not even that great, but there's something about sitting in a lawn chair on the 4th of July. Kids are running around, and I don't particularly like being around a bunch of other kids beside my nieces, but there's something nice about the whole, it just seems very American, very, I don't know, nostalgic in some way. The sun is beating on you. It's just perfect. So I go for this hot dog, and the guy that hands me a hot dog is a famous person. It's Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele and plenty of other stuff, who lives out here. I've talked about that. But it was fun to see him there. I'm doing a show in 2 weeks, and I mentioned him that I'm doing a show out there. I feel like I shouldn't have done that. I don't think that was a good move. I doubt he'll show up, but, it would just be, I don't know. I felt weird about it afterwards. I also ate 3 hot dogs, and I feel like it's because he was there. He was, if it was a regular Ocean Beach fireman serving hot dogs, I wouldn't have kept going up. But the fact there was a famous person, you kind of want to interact with him a little bit, I was an extra in a movie he was in. I didn't go into that, thank God. I was an extra in a movie he was in. It was a Mike Birbiglia movie called Don't Think Twice. Yeah, Don't Think Twice. Named after that Bob Dylan song, I believe. It was an improv movie, and I was going to take an improv classes at UCB at that point, and so the students were able to come and fill in the theater. And it was, and I don't know if anybody's ever done something like this where you're an extra, but it was awful. You spend a day in like this holding area, and then you have to walk into a theater in Manhattan. You just walk in, and you kept having to walk in and walk out. And you sit there and you watch them rehearse and do it 15 different times. And then you go back, and they serve you cold pizza and soda, and then you have to go back for like another 4 hours. I lasted the first half of the day. I went back for the pizza and then directly went to Penn Station afterwards. In fact, if you look at the movie, you can see, I think where I was got cut, because when you walk into the theater, there's a guy that was right next to me that we walked in together, and he's in there and I'm not. And if you look close enough, you could see an empty seat where I was sitting. Not for me. But anyway, thank God I didn't get into that with Keegan-Michael Key. That'll be next year. God forbid I meet him out at a bar and I've had a few pops in me, I was an extra. Oh, God. That would be embarrassing. So I was on call the next day. We had a great 4th of July. But the day after, I'm on call, and this year it was on a Saturday. So there's a chance, like I took off, they know where I am, but there's a chance I have to go back early in the morning to work, and that would require me getting up 6 in the morning, getting on a ferry, and going back home, and and going to work, and I would come back that night. So I'm praying this doesn't happen, but I'm up at like 5 in the morning waiting for the call, because I won't know till the next morning. 6 in the morning, I get a call. Going back and forth, they might need me, so now I can't sleep. Turns out they were able to cover my shift. I didn't have to come in, which is such a relief. Now, the night before, my brother-in-law is setting up this kayak. He's got this kayak, this giant kayak that he loves this kayak. To me, it just, again, minimal effort. It just seems like too much work for not enough fun. It takes him an hour to set. He's got to blow it up, pump it up, whatever he does with this thing. It looks heavy. I don't know. I didn't help him move it, but he's trying to get the kids love it, so it's good, I guess. He's a good dad. But he's trying to get everybody else. Come out on the kayak. Let's go on the kayak. I don't want to go on it, but I tell him, I say, listen, if I don't have to go to work tomorrow, I will go on that kayak with you. So the next morning I don't go to work. 9 a.m, this guy's got his kayak out, right? 9 a.m. He's got the life preservers. I'm not ready to kayak before breakfast. I need some time. I have a routine in the morning, okay? I get my unsweetened iced tea. I go down to the bakery. I get a plain croissant. It's perfect. That's what I do every morning when I'm in Fire Island. I wait. I sneak out of the house, and I try not to bring people with me. I just go by myself. I like that little walk into town. I get my iced tea and my plain croissant. Perfect. So I haven't even done that yet, and this guy's ready to hit the high seas. So I'm like, all right, look, I'll go on the kayak with you. Go out with the kids first. Or if you're still around by like 12, 1 o'clock, then I'm ready to go. Now I'm awake. Now I've had my tea. Now I've had my croissant. All right. Now I'm ready to explore the Great South Bay with you. So 12 o'clock comes along. I meet them at the dock. Now, I'm waiting there about 10 minutes, and I see in the distance this haggard kayak. It looks like it's just coming over the horizon, and I could see. It looks like a struggle is happening, right? I see water splashing. I see two grown men. The kayak. It looks like they're sitting on water. That's how low this kayak is into the water. And I'm like, that's them. It's two grown men and 3 kids. All right. It's our good friend Colin. He's there with his daughter and my 2 nieces and my brother-in-law. And I'm watching them row. It looks like a nightmare, right? I can tell. Like, here's the thing with the kayak. The kayak is for people that want to exercise while they're on vacation in the water. That sounds awful to me. If I'm on a lake, crystal clear lake, there's no movement, I'll do that. I'll do it all day. We're in the Great South Bay 4th of July weekend. Seems like a nightmare. They get back to shore after 20 minutes. It looked like, I'm telling you, they were not too far off the coast there, and they finally come back. I look at Colin. You know when I look at Colin, because I know my brother-in-law is going to lie to me. He's like, it was great. Everything's great, right? I know it's not. I can tell it's not. Kids are having fun, but I look at Colin, because Colin is the passenger, and that's who I'd be replacing. He's the co-captain. And I say, Colin, was it fun? And you know when somebody tells you it was good, but you can look in their eye and you can tell they're saying the opposite? Like he's saying, yeah, it was fun, but if you look in his eyes, he's saying, don't do it. Don't do it. But at this point, the kids are out there. Uncle B, come on the kayak. Come on the kayak. All right. So I get in this stupid kayak. I go in first. It's a balancing act, by the way. You got to put your foot in there. My legs are sprayed out. You feel like you're going to tip over. Doesn't feel safe. Now my brother-in-law gets in. The kids are getting in. We have one of those. Rubber boats. So it's just me and my brother-in-law in the kayak, and we have 3 kids in like this rubber boat. Remember those boats that you used to see, you used to get in your pool? It looked like a little, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Those little blow-up boats, boat floats. We got 3 kids in that. We're towing them. And immediately in that water, you're just so low in the water. Like the dock is 3 feet above me, and I just felt claustrophobic. I was like, I knew I didn't want to be here. My feet are bunched up in the front, Now I got to hold these oars. I've never held an oar a day in my life. I don't know what I'm doing. Apparently, I had it upside down. I didn't know you can have. I thought oars just went. I didn't know that there was a technique where one had to be this way. So I'm switching the oars around, right? And we start going out. This is the only condition I say. I say, listen, I'll do this, but I'm going out for a quick ride. There's a little post about 30 feet out. I don't want to go any further than that. I don't feel comfortable. I don't like this form of transportation. We'll go out 30 feet and I'll come back. I did it. And by the way, I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it, but I didn't like it. So we're going out. We got 30 feet out there. It's hell, right? My arm's already hurt. We get to that post, and I'm like, all right, that was good. Let's head back. And of course, it's never enough. All right. Now they see a buoy, another 30 to 40 feet out. This buoy's in the middle of the Great South Bay. They're like, come on, let's just go out to the buoy and then we'll turn around. This buoy is in the middle of the Great South Bay on 4th of July weekend. This boat's whizzing by. It's their channel. They can't see us. We're low to the ground, right? But now I'm getting yelled at by 3 children and my brother-in-law. Oh, come on, Uncle B. What are you're going to ruin all the fun, right? So we start going there. I'm complaining the whole time. I'm not fun to be with. So we're going out there, and I have like these waves of panic where I'm like, part of me wants to do it and like, all right, let's just do this and get it over with. But the other part of me is like, no, there's a ferry boat coming our way. We're in a little kayak. They can't see us. My rational brain is thinking, so we're going. My brother-in-law is paddling north. I'm paddling south. I'm trying to go backwards. He's going this way. It's a battle of oars and rowing. He's winning because I don't know how to row. Finally, we kept getting a little closer. I got children yelling. I have young girls basically calling me a pussy. That's what they're saying. They're yelling at me. Finally, a speedboat comes by, and thank goodness, I think they realize, all right, maybe this isn't safe. We'll head back. We start heading back. Now my niece wants to swim in the Great South Bay. First of all, to me, that's disgusting. The Great South Bay is nothing but, it's muck. It's nothing but dirt water, right? You can't see. If you put your fingers in the Great South Bay, you can't see your fingers. That's how dirty this thing is. I'm not built for this. I like being on a boat where there is a captain, maybe a cool drink. I don't want to do any work. And I don't want to be 3 inches above the water. That's for sure. So anyway, my niece gets out. She's swimming, and I'm looking at the shore. I'm just praying we get to land soon, right? I'm like, all right, swim quick, and we'll get back. I see a lifeguard standing up. He's waving his hands, blowing his whistle, waving his hands, blowing his whistle. He goes, you can't swim over there. Of course you can't swim in the Great South Bay, okay? There's ferry boats around. So we grab my niece. She gets back in there. The other kid gets hit in the head with an oar. She's crying. It's a nightmare. We finally get back, and the lifeguard is waiting for us at the dock, okay? Now, I'm happy that this lifeguard's there because I know this lifeguard, he's going to reiterate everything I just said to them. He's going to tell them again. What happens, we get there, the lifeguard goes, listen, you shouldn't be out there by that buoy. It's very dangerous. There's boats out there. You shouldn't be swimming in the water. You shouldn't be out that far, all right? Stay on the coastline. I interrupt the lifeguard. I say, excuse me, I'm sorry. Are you guys listening to what the lifeguard's saying? Because he's saying everything that silly Uncle B just said, where you all laughed at me. Nobody's even paying attention to the lifeguard. They're just doing their own thing. I get off the kayak. I kiss the ground. Kids stay out there. They had a great time. And listen, I'll be honest. I'm happy I did it. I'm glad I did it. I don't know if I'd do it again. Right circumstances, it would have to be the perfect circumstances for me to get back on that thing. But I felt panicky. And rightfully so, I believe, okay? 4th of July weekend in a kayak, that Great South Bay, the people are drinking. It's very dangerous. That night, it's my brother and sister-in-law's wedding anniversary, so they're going to go out to dinner by themselves. Me and my mom and dad are going to go out, take the kids out. We go to the Island Mermaid, one of our favorite restaurants out there. We're sitting outside right on the dock there. Beautiful, right? Beautiful night. Town is packed, by the way. It is a nightmare. And another way I know I'm getting old, and everybody that listens to this also, I'm sure, feels the same way. It's just like the disrespect on these kids now. It's like, was I ever that? I'm sure I was bad. I know I was. But I was never like this. I don't know. It's just... There's something going on out there, and the streets are crowded with people that just have no respect for anybody. Bars are packed to the gills. Again, I say this knowing I was this person not so long ago. But when you get a little older and you're just like, ugh, you're going to regret a lot of what you're doing tonight. So we go have dinner, and now one of the big things in Fire Island is you want to get a... It has beautiful sunsets right on the Great South Bay there. But, sunset is quick. Everybody needs to get a picture for their Instagram. I've done it myself, all right? So you have Main Streets packed. So we get out of dinner, and we decide to cut through. We're going to walk along the Great South Bay. There's like a dock that sort of runs parallel of the bay. And everybody's out taking pictures of the sunset, right? So it's my dad's in the front. He's got my one niece. I'm in the middle by myself, and my mom has my other niece behind me. All right. So we're walking through the crowds, and you just can't. There's so much chaos happening. You're just trying to get through. We get to this point now. The sunset has just gone down, so everybody's like, "Oh, they're looking at their pictures and seeing, did I get a good one?" Nobody's paying attention to who's walking. So we get to this area, and there's this lady sitting on a bench, and I see her scream out to this girl, this like 19-year-old girl. She goes, "Well, that was very rude. You're a very rude person." My ears perk up because I like this. When something happens and I'm not involved, I'm excited, right? Oh, what's happening over here? So I'm looking around, and this girl, I see her. She's walking away, and she goes, "He yelled at me first." One of those. So we get through. It turns around, and he goes, "Did you hear what she said to me?" Turns out, this girl, my dad's walking with my niece, and the girl was in the way. And she wasn't moving. She just had the cell phone, like all these people do. All right, and it's not just kids; it's adults too. Everybody's just on the cell phone, not paying attention to the world around them. They're in their own world. My dad's with my niece. He's holding her hand, and he's like, I don't know what my dad could have been rude to her. I don't know. All right, that is a possibility, but I'm sure he didn't start out rude. But basically, the story we get, my dad's like, I asked her, "Can you please move?" That's what my dad said. No, my dad probably said, "Excuse me, can you get the hell out of the way? I'm walking with my it could have been that. But anyway, this 19-year-old girl looks up at my dad from her cell phone and rolls her eyes and goes, "Take a hike, old man." Now, if you know my dad, my dad probably wanted to take this girl and throw her into the Great South Bay. But you can't do that because he's with his own nieces, and, there's rules. So my dad was cool. My dad was very calm throughout this whole thing. He got back, and as soon as we get back, he starts telling us the story. Me and my mom are dying laughing because I'm like, "Oh, that's what the woman on the bench was." I'm trying to figure out what this woman on the bench was, and my dad's like, "Yeah, she stuck up for me. She stuck up for me." And now if my dad has a story, he'll repeat it over and over again. He'll just keep telling the story. So we get to the end of our block. He's told the story 3 times. My mom's already like, all right, honey, Tom, please, we heard it. It's a great story, but make it great. don't. There's something when you have a good story, you can't just keep telling it. All right, because it ruins its luster. Chick does this a lot. When Chick has a great story, he can't help but he's got to say it to everybody. I'm like, listen, wait for the perfect time. This is how you tell a great story. You hold it and you wait for the perfect time to tell it. All right, gives you a little time to recap what happened. You can tell it the right way. My dad can't do this. By the time we got to the house, he's already telling the wrong story. He's like, yeah. She tells me, get a life, you old man. And my dad is already. I'm like, it's not get a life. She said, take a hike. So my dad's already like, he works in D.C. with a lot of young people, and I know he's already talked about how he feels like he's aging out. Like I get that vibe from my dad already, so I know this hit him where it hurt. Because it's not, he's like, that's the first time anybody's ever said, he just can't stop thinking about it. And we're laughing about it all weekend. Next day, my dad wakes up, and he's been sitting, thinking about it all night. And he goes, I think it was that damn green shirt. He starts blaming his shirt. He was like, yeah, that green shirt. It's like old man shirt. Like everything he's like, this is very like old man, right? I'm like he's obsessed with now he's an old man. So anyway, we got a good laugh out of that, and it was a great trip. It was a great weekend. They were all supposed to leave the next day. They did not. I was looking forward to everybody vacating the house and me having the house to myself for a little while. But the weather was great. Nobody really had to go home for anything. I stayed till Monday. I stayed in there like 2 hours after they left. I love to go and take the bikes out, and I'll take on being out in Ocean Beach and Fire Island on a weekday is the best because there's not a lot of people around. Take the bike down to Ocean Bay Park. I got a great lunch. I ran into Keegan Michael Key again. Didn't say anything. I saw one of my good friends from high school. Him and his wife were staying like a block away, so that was a fun surprise. It was just great. It was a great weekend, and I'll be there again this weekend. I have a show on the 17th, I believe, at the Hideaway. So I doubt anybody that's listening is on vacation in Ocean Beach this week, but if you are, reach out to me and I'll be out there. Reach out for me and I'll be there. Yeah, so that was my week, and I don't know if you guys will even listen to this. Maybe we'll discuss this again with Chick and Ryan. I hope to be back next week, although I am away pretty much every day next week, so I don't know when we plan on recording. In the meantime, I will be keeping up with the podcast by myself if I have to. That's where we're at. This is not easy, by the way. I need two people to bounce stuff off with. I'm not ready. This is harder than I imagined. Just talking to myself. It's more fun with somebody else. But anyway. Guys, if you made it this far, we appreciate you. We love you. And, if you have any suggestions and comments or any ideas for us, figure out what to do next and how to keep this thing going. If you want this thing to go, if you love the video, I don't know, watch it, subscribe. I don't know what else to do. But we'll see you next week, and have a good weekend.